everyone, welcome back to RTS and welcome back to another start to finish video. And up for today is day one of the load event, and you know how I love load. Yes, now the load event stands for layout a day, and you can look below, there's more information about that. And I know that some of my fellow subscribers are joining in on the load event here in February. So excited. Yes, and so I'm going to talk about what the prompt is, how I'm going to take it, and if you are taking the load event, you may have already seen my layout posted in the Flickr gallery, so you already saw a sneak peek of that. So today we are going to do a start to finish video. Love doing start to finish videos. Yes, it's my favorite thing to do here. Of course, you know I like building kits too. So, and hint, hint, wink, wink, there may be a knockoff version of a kit coming up soon, so hit the notification bell for that. Okay, so up for today, along with 4 inches of snow and more coming, I tell you, it's crazy. And we weren't even forecasted to get any. Oh, don't even get me started on these weather forecasters. So, anyways, up for today, I'm going to do the load event for day one, and the prompt, of course, you know the theme for load this year in February is ruby red scissors, of course, which is taken from the Wizard of Oz. We're celebrating 80 years of Wizard of Oz, and I think I'm going to put that on here in just a little bit and listen to that. And so, of course, you know, there's no place like home to scrapbook. And so, of course, today, somewhere over the rainbow, the story prompt is, let me read here, if I can read my notes. Dreams do come true, and what dream of yours has came true? You could scrapbook that, and then the technique prompt is use rainbow colors on your layout, or you could do both, or you have the option to do neither. And of course, when I'm taking the load event, I try to do one of the story or the technique, one of those two prompts, because that's what I paid for, so that's what I take from it. But there are some days where neither the story prompt nor the technique prompt is what you want to do, and so for the load event, you can do whatever you want to do, just as long as you do a layout. Yes, and of course, you know, Alice has some wonderful videos, and I will have her linked below because she really is really promoting the load event, and she's doing an awesome job with that. So, of course, what did I do when I saw the title, you know, dreams come true? Of course, a lot of us think of Disney, and of course, I wanted to do something that is a play off of that. In rainbow colors, it's kind of hard for me to use. I have no idea why. Multicolor is something I struggle with. So I was like, oh yeah, don't even look at that. I didn't want to do that. So I went by the story prompt, and I have a huge box of Disney photos. So I thought, you know, why not go ahead and work on a page where I've already have photos printed, save a step. So of course I picked out this beautiful castle photo that I took in 2012, I believe. Yes, 2012. This time. It was absolutely this time in 2012. And I thought the photo turned out beautiful. It was just with my Fuji camera. And so that is exactly what I'm going to do. And so I'm going to do a little bit of scrap spin in the start to finish, and we're going to talk a little bit about mood and feel. But if you don't want to watch any of that, just hit the fast forward button. I will come back with a finished page using the load prompt. But what I'm going to talk about now is scrap spin. And so there will be a video listed below talking about what scrap spin is. So of course, you know, I opened up my supply list, and I did it in the quick manner, and I asked Siri to give me 5 numbers. And so what did I have that she gave me to play with? Okay, and so she gave me specialty papers. Okay, and then she gave me a class or a challenge. Well, you know, that hit the mother load right there because I'm doing the load event. And then of course Nouveau drops. So I pulled my box of Nouveau drops. Okay, and then of course long border dies and my sticker bin, which I have this here. Okay, so I'm absolutely, when I do my scrap spin, once I see what the supplies are, I literally just go pull them, and I have them sitting near my desk or around my desk. And then also 2 thickers. Okay, and I'll talk about that in just a minute when I talk about more mood and feel and how I went that route. So I have my Nouveau drops here. I have my sticker bin and the long border dies. I will show you what I picked for that. So I'm good to go as far as scrap spin. Now, one of the scrap spin options I had was to do a class or a challenge, which is kind of already chosen for me because I'm doing the load event. So I went ahead and asked Siri for another number. And when I talked about scrap spin, you can pick 3, 5, 6. And if there's something you don't like or something you're already going to do, just skip over it and move on. Okay? Because you'll see that I absolutely picked another one. I got thickers, and then I didn't pick any more, but I picked other supplies, and I'll talk about that. So let's get into mood and feel, because one of my Siri scrap spin selections, wow, say that 3 times fast, is that specialty papers. And so this is a special photo because I think it turned out really great for just especially at nighttime of the castle with no people in it. Yes, love how it turned out. And honestly, I think someday I might make a note and I might print this in a bigger photo, and I might do a title page for it. But for right now, I want to say that if you think of something like this you want to do, get out that Scrappy notebook and put that in there. And I'm absolutely going to write on here when I'm done filming to print out this castle photo in a bigger format. Okay, so specialty papers. And so I wanted to talk about that because let's talk about mood and feel, because this is a nice photo, so I wanted to do something fun with this. Of course, the load prompt of dreams come true, the whole Disney magical, yes. Okay, and then I absolutely have something that I snapped at the train station. It says, "Here you leave today and enter the world of yesterday, tomorrow, and fantasy." Yes, and so I already know what my title is going to be because of the load prompt. I'll talk about that. So let's talk about mood and feel. So of course, here's the photo that I have, and so of course I went right to my fanfare paper categories, and that will be listed below in my organizing playlist, how I organize my paper categories. And one of my paper categories is fanfare, and that has to do with amusement parks and games and Disney and things like that. And I knew that I wanted something Disney-like, and so I reached for my stars because I have a lot of star paper that I keep just for Disney. And so I put the photo here, and I was like, yeah, that's really just not what I'm going for. I want something more, something more magical, I guess is what I'm trying to say, or more fairy tale. I think that's probably the word that kept going through my mind. And so then I thought, well, I'll just pick maybe a different color because this has a lot of blues. And so then I went with like a contrasting color. And of course, this is by Photo Play. It's Reach for the Stars. And this is one thing I want to say. If you want star paper, definitely consider the B-sides of papers, okay? Because this is a new line by Photo Play, and this is the A side. It's the cut aparts. But star paper sometimes is what you find on the back. So if you're wanting stars, keep that when you're looking at papers. And so then I thought, okay, well, I will look at the Echo Park collection called Once Upon a Time, because that's totally princess related. And I thought, okay, well, let's do that. So I found this paper and I thought, okay, that's good. It's a little bit more retro than I'm wanting, so I skipped that. Now, with this being said, any paper that I would pick here would totally go fine. It's just I have a certain feeling that I want for this photo. I have a certain mood I want for this photo, but anything I show is be perfect, okay? So then I found another paper in that collection. And of course, this was, again, the B-side of this, okay? And so then the second paper in that collection by Echo Park was called Fairy Tale. And of course, what is on the paper? The castle. So you think that would be perfect? It would be perfect. But again, it's just not the mood and feel. It's a little bit more whimsical. I want something a little bit high end, I guess. Okay, so then I thought, okay, well then maybe I need to go with a floral. I don't want a theme of castles. I'll go with floral. Okay, well now we're getting somewhere. Yes, because I love floral, and once you know that about your style, you will just know some things will work better than others. And so I thought, okay, this is very magical, very fairy tale like, and I really like this. This is from a wedding line from Echo Park called Just Married. Just Married, yeah. Okay, and so very pretty. Looks gorgeous against this photo. Again, so I want something a little bit more. This looks a little bit too English Garden, so I thought, okay, well, I'll keep moving on. And then I got to this paper. Now, this is a Prima paper. And, of course, now you see what we're doing is we're getting into these specialty papers. and that was what Siri had picked for me. And now we're getting into floral, but we're getting into specialties because these now have florals, and these are papers that, you know, you spend sometimes 99 cents, $1.29 for, so they are special. They are very special. This is by Prima, and this is Midnight Garden. Now this says 2019, but I bought this last year when I was traveling, so maybe it just came out early. And something else I didn't notice about Prima papers, I don't buy a lot of Prima, but when I saw this paper, I liked this. At the bottom here, they have a color guide, so if you want to know, I'll put that a little bit closer. If I don't hit a light. See, they have this color guide here. So look on the bottom of your Prima papers, and that will already give you a key code to some other colors that will go with it. I thought that was fun. So, okay, so now we're getting into some specialty papers, and I thought, okay, I'm getting closer to this mood and feel that I want. And I thought, okay, definitely floral. Now, this is a little bit more darker than what I had in my brain, okay? But this is definitely, I would consider this Beauty and the Beast, yes, that mood and feel, okay? Now, when I talk about mood and feel, that is something that I talk a lot about, and there will be videos listed below where I talk more about mood and feel, and it's just a mantra, and it's something like a motto that I've taught for many years in classes to help you make better selections when you're picking supplies and also in your process. So now that I decided, okay, I'm in my specialty group, look for some floral and look for some specialty in this gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous floral with some gold foil, again from the Echo Park Just Married. That is just a plain basic stripe. Okay, very, very pretty. So I thought, okay, now we're hitting the ball, because that's pretty. That's really getting close. A little bit more darker in the background, but I'll just keep on going. So then I found another paper. Okay, now this is by Photoplay, Julie Nutting. Okay. And this is definitely more English garden looking, but it's getting close to what I want. It's a little bit lighter. There's no specialty on there as far as foil treatment, but it's all pretty, okay? And I have a section in my space just for specialty papers, and I have a section in my space just for florals, because that's my signature motif is florals. I love florals, okay? So then I thought, okay, well, let's go to another one. We found another Prima. It's from a couple years ago. It's called Misty Rose Collection. And so I thought, okay, now we're getting into the florals. This looks very pretty. We got some gold foil, a more mood and feel. Yes, liking that. Again, any one of these papers would be perfect for this photo. It's just there's a lot of options when you go by mood and feel. You don't just have to find a piece of paper that has castle in the background. No, each one of these papers evoked a certain feeling for me with this photo. Okay, so that's a contender. And then I found something a little bit more lighter, a little more dainty. But then the drawback was it had some bees and butterflies, and this is at nighttime. But I still liked the colors, and I thought, well, I could strategically cover that up. A good choice, okay? This is, again, another Prima paper by Poetic Rose Collection. Again, see this color code at the bottom? Very, very nice, Prima. That is just really good, okay? Of course, good quality. Okay, so then the next one I chose, and this was all in one grouping, so it's not like I had to go far for these, was another one that I thought, oh yes, look at that. It's got that blue tint for these flowers. It's got this gold. It's got more of this fairy tale, fantasy land. Yes, hello Cinderella. I think we have landed home. Very, very nice, okay? So I really, really like that. And this is called Georgia Blues Collection, again by Prima. Okay, very, very pretty. Okay, so then I found another one, another Prima paper. Now this has silver. So sometimes when I think of Cinderella and a castle, when I'm thinking of a metallic, I go more towards silver. So I thought, okay, well maybe I should use a floral that has silver. And of course this is called Flitty Floral Collection, again by Prima. And it has the specialty, but it has silver. So I thought, okay, well now I'm going to have to decide, do I want silver or do I want gold? And there goes the snow truck. Okay, yeah. Okay, so then I thought, okay, well, that's very pretty. Okay, so then I thought, okay, I need to decide if I want silver or gold. So then I found one more paper, and I found this one. Okay, so now what have I decided for this photo and it will be one of the last 3 papers I just showed. It'll be either this one or the 2 previous, because I'm back to square one. And so this basically incorporated more of what I was talking about. I just built up to this one. It's got the florals, it's got some script, and then of course it just has that specialty of that gold. And so I liked how the flowers were more close knit. So any one of these last 3 will be one of my choices. And like I said, any one of these papers that I decided to pick is going to be absolutely perfect for this photo. Even the one that had the castles that was from the Echo Park, or even the ones that had stars. Any one of this would have been perfect for the Cinderella castle photo using the story prompt Dreams Come True. It's just what I want to play with today. There is no wrong answer to that. But I know it will be one of these 3 papers. Okay, so as I decided on these 3 papers, I wanted to show what my process was for that, because I did. I sat down and took a few minutes and said, what is the mood and feel? And then once I got down to these 3 papers, I have to say, do I want this one? Do I want this one? Or do I want this one? And I wish we had radar vision so someone could tell me, but I have a feeling it's going to be, this one. I have a feeling, even though I wanted silver, but I don't know. It's just this is working. I think maybe because of this blue. I don't know. Okay, so then with Siri, she gave me specialty papers, and as I went for my specialty papers, I found something else, and I found this paper right here. Okay, so I thought, well, why not stick it in here? It has to do with the castle. It reminded me basically of lattice work that you would see at the castle. And so I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, now I still haven't made a final decision on this paper. So if you want one of these 2, hold on for that. Maybe one of those 2 will make it. But I did pull that specialty paper. And then also too with my specialty papers, do you know what I have with them? I have one 12 by 12 stencil. And it is this right here. It is a script. And it is by the Crafters Workshop. Okay, now I really don't know anything about stencils, other than I own one, and it's 12 by 12. That's about all I know. Okay, but I like this one because it has script. And when I saw this paper and then I saw this, it reminded me of that. So what did I do? I went ahead and pulled some modeling paste. Now this is way out of my comfort zone, but I may get a little bit of mixed media in there. This is not something I normally do, but I want to play today, and I've just inspired because of the paper, because Siri told me to go get some specialty paper, and this was sitting right there along with it. Again, we'll see. I'm not making any promises, but we'll see. Okay, so again, it was just inspired. And even though this wasn't on my scrap spin list, I saw it, I thought, oh, that looks good. It doesn't matter if it's on your scrap spin list or not. If you see it and you want to play with it, put it in your pile. Okay, so then of course the other thing on my scrap spin was thickers, and I thought, well, I need to go with something that'll probably be metallic. And I pulled a gold and a silver because I still don't know yet which one. And I pulled out the gold, and what do you think I found? The word dream. And that again goes with the load prompt. So I'm really thinking I'm going to go with that paper, but I also pulled a silver thicker because I thought that was very, very, very pretty. Okay, but I'm really, I don't know, I think that's probably what I'm going to go with. But isn't that something that when you are going through your supplies and you have that prompt and the dreams come true, well, you know, I'm going to put dream in my title somewhere. Absolutely. And then the other thing that was in my scrap spin was long border die. So I got out my inventory binder, looked at them, and what did I find? I found something with bricks. This is a Tim Holtz alteration die. It's called Brick Wall. And what is this castle made of? Nothing but stones and bricks. Why not? I maybe could get that on there. And then also too, this is something that's newer to my stash from last year, and it's basically a lattice. And so that is what I picked. And I would have never picked, I would have never found this gold dream thicker. Maybe I might have. I would have never picked this, and I would never have picked these, and I would never have picked that if it wouldn't have been for scrap spin. I would not have. So that is why I like scrap spin, because it gives you more options than what you normally would have thought you would have done. And so that video will be listed below talking about scrap spin. I suggest you really consider that, because it doesn't matter if you have 10 supplies, or on my list I have 92 at this point. You just never know. And plus then you get to play with your supplies that you normally wouldn't. I haven't played with this ever. I haven't played with this for over a year, and it's been well over a year since I cracked this open. So, and it's been well over a year since I played with that script stencil. So that is what I have for my supplies. I will come back with a finished page. I don't know what I'm going to get into, but I know I'm going to have fun. So thank you, Alice. Thank you for the load prompt for Ruby Red Scissors, starting out load day 1. And so the next load event will be in May. And so as you see the next few start to finish videos here on my channel, give it a thought. If you start to see, maybe I could use that prompt for a story page, or maybe I could use that technique, get out of my comfort zone a little bit. The load event is by far my favorite challenge, and it only happens a couple times a year. So, yes, come back, and I will make my dreams come true and see what I can get done with this page. Okay, hang on. Okay, I am back with my finished page for load day 1, and so yes, it is done and completed and even loaded into the Flickr gallery. And so that's exciting too, to see how everybody takes one prompt or 2 prompts and runs with it. It's just absolutely motivating. And so I am not in it to win it as far as the prize package, but I am definitely motivated to do these story prompts. I love that about load. And so this page looks like it's very complicated. It is so simple, because what is it? It is one piece of pattern paper put on a mat. I mean, that's all it is. And then, of course, if you notice, I did the L design. And my L design is basically just made up of those specialty papers and those dies that Siri told me to go pick. Yes, how wonderful is that? Love that. Okay, so let's just start from, I guess, the back and work ourselves in. I think that's what we'll do. And so the back is a marble piece of paper that came from just a hot buy paper pad, nothing fantabulous. And so I did gut it. And so that inside gut was my photo mat, because then I thought it would stand out a little bit more. So up close, you can see the marble, but on film, I don't think you can probably see that. And then, of course, the showstopper is that specialty paper of that Prima, which was called Georgia Blues Collection, and the paper is called Midnight Blue. I mean, is that not perfect for mood and feel? Yes, come to mama. Love that, love that. Okay, and so what I did was I just cut a 1/2 inch off 2 sides and simply put it on that marble paper. That is all it is. And so then the rest is just layers of those specialty items and my dies. So excited about that. So of course you can see this jelly bean lattice die cut. I simply just cut that in half and cut it down a little bit, and that is the layer on top of that Prima. But before I did that, guess what I did? I broke out that stencil and I did a little bit of modeling paste, and of course I was just looking, you know, and this is full disclosure, I guess I should have cleaned that before I kept on playing. Yeah, I don't know how that'll work, but we'll see. I guess some soap and water. And so where do I have those? Let me just find something to point. I don't want to be rude. And so where I have that that modeling paste stencil, yes, what do you call that? What do you call it? Just stenciling. It is right here and right here and right here. And so it's just a tad, but it is in a triangle, you know, visual triangle, right there, right there, right there. It's not a lot, but up close and personal, you can see it and you can feel it. It adds a little bit of touch, adds a little bit of texture too. And then of course on top of the jelly bean soup die cut lattice, I put another lattice, and that was this die right here. Okay, and yes, all those little pieces, but most of them came out of the die, not too hard. You can take one of those Spellbinders brush. I'll find mine here, if I can find it. You can just take that Spellbinders brush and run right over that. So you can definitely use this Spellbinders brush, and I'll move that. And what that does is, see, that'll just remove those little pieces. See, that's how quick that is. See all those little pieces? Pops right off of there, okay? And so you can definitely use that, or sometimes you can just use a push pin and push them out. But that brush really is a really good little tool for all it costs. Yes, a 2-in-1 is what they call it by Spellbinders. Love that little thing. And then I also took my other die, which was this Tim Holtz brick wall. And all I did was use white cardstock for both of those. And you can see that right down here. It's just a layering piece, the same as this lattice. You don't see a lot of it, but that wasn't the purpose of it. It was just to do some layers. And of course, I broke out that gold thickers word that said dream, because that was the load prompt. And of course, my journaling says, no matter how many times I visit Disney and stand by Cinderella's castle, I really feel that any dream can come true. Love that, because that is exactly how I feel when I stand by that castle every single time I see it. It's just a magical place. It really is. And so of course the word dream in my title and the word dream in my journaling is in caps. And then I have another sticker that came from Paper Studio. It's just on the sheet here. That was another thing I was told to use in my scrap spin. And so I have a visual triangle in the word dream. So I love how that turned out. And then all of these gold pieces and white pieces and this pearls, where did they come from? My little color drawers. Yes, I'll have a video linked below. And is simply my color little bins, little drawers. I just pulled out my white, pulled out my gold, and that is all I simply used on this page. Again, it looks a lot more complicated than it really is, but it isn't. And then, of course, you know, to make things go further, you cut things in half, you tuck, you layer, that type of thing. And then, of course, getting these pearls in was an alternative to enamel dots. I thought because of the mood and feel of my Prima paper there, and of course with the castle, I thought pearls would be more of that mood and feel other than enamel dots. And then guess what I use for the word February up here? Would you believe that when I'm done with my planners, when my little girl is done with the planners and we no longer need them, because I don't keep planners from year to year once I have what I need, I absolutely cut off the tabs and I stick them in my color drawers, color bins. See, I have all these from one planner. And that's how I used the word February, as that came from a planner that was already used. And of course, adhered everything down with my quick dry. Of course, it now looks like a scotch. It now looks like this tacky glue. That's what it looks like. So everything had to be adhered down, sometimes twice, because of the texture and the foil that was on my paper. Okay, so I think that is all I have for this start to finish. And of course, one last note, what did I do? Gold photo corners in here and here, just in two corners, because this is an L-shaped design, and the four photo corners here and here help navigate your eye in that L design. And speaking of the L design, that will be coming up soon, because next up in just a few days you'll be seeing a go-to design video in the block, but after the block we'll be talking about the L design. So this is one of them. So you will see this page again happening very soon. So I hope you enjoyed that. I absolutely had fun playing with this page, and I absolutely had fun using Scrap Spin as an option to pull supplies that, one, I either did not play with for a long time, or two, I forgot about, or three, makes you motivated to get off your tuff and actually play with some things. So yes, modeling paste, a stencil, and some dies, layering it all up. Yes, sign me up. I'm there. Yes, come home, Cinderella. We got it done. And so I really appreciate these load prompts, because I would not have taken this photo and paired it with the word dream and to get this mood and feel, and absolutely just to take a moment of one sentence to record how I feel when I stand by that castle every time we go visit. Love that. Yes. Okay. So that is all I have for today. This is day 1. So you know there's going to be day 2 coming up sometime soon. So hit the notification bell and come back to RTS, because you never know what we're going to learn. Bye.